All right. Good evening, everyone. Graduates, family, friends of graduates, alumni, fellow staff, any employer partners out there. Welcome to the next Operation Spark Graduation Showcase. I will be your host for tonight's events. Should probably turn my camera on so you can see me. My name is Joshua Straskowski. I am the senior instructor here at Operation Spark. I've been here for about a year. I also graduated from the program back in 2018, so almost 3 years now. Before we start, very quick housekeeping items. I do apologize, but would like everyone to keep their webcam off if they're not speaking. Unfortunately, with the way things have been the last year and a half, we know that not everyone has the strongest internet connection. So if we could keep the webcams off, that could help maybe some folks with some weaker connections to open up the bandwidth. Also, please stay on mute. If you have any questions, we absolutely welcome that. Just throw them into the chat and I will do my best to read all of them. We will have a Q&A portion following each showcase presentation, as well as a further meet and greet following tonight's proceedings. So with that, before we begin, I would like to turn it over right now to our CEO and the founder of Operation Spark, John Faboni, to give a few words. John?
Hi, everybody. Hopefully you can hear me. I want to welcome everybody to our grad showcase for Cohort P. This is our 33rd graduating cohort. So I want to thank you for being with us to celebrate the amazing accomplishments of these 6 grads. They are joining 270 immersion alumni now at this point, so that's amazing. Our grads are out there working for companies like Ubisoft and Forbes, DXC, of course, Cognac and Lucid, Entergy, Tulane, 60 other companies. So they're joining some, they're going to be in good company. So I do want to thank our team, our instructors and the success team for their incredible work in keeping our programs running and supporting our students. So that's Jessica, Eric, Taylor, Peter, Josh, who's emceeing tonight, Katie, who's joined our team recently, and Alex as well, who's joined our team recently. I'll also shout out to Ryan McFarland, who was on our team and has moved on, but I think he's also continuing on to mentor and to assist a little bit. And he was involved in working with this cohort through their tuition here. And then Ruel Reese, who's our director of workforce programs. On our success team, Brianna and Jesselyn are over there assisting students as they go through the program. So big thanks to all of our staff. In addition, I'd like to thank our high school program, the folks running that show. We did just have our first in-person classes for our high school program this summer for the first time in over a year. So we're really excited about that. And hopefully we are going to continue some in-person operations with our high schoolers come the fall. So thanks to our dev shop folks as well and our administrative team, Kim and Pam, and some of the other folks that are helping us in the background. Josh, you're awesome. Thanks for moderating tonight. And I want to welcome any of our board members that might be on, funders or employer partners. Certainly appreciate the time and help and investment you've made in our students. So I'm looking forward to seeing the presentations tonight. This is a source of great pride for us to see the results, our grads showcase their work tonight. And with that, I'll turn it back over to Josh, and congratulations again to Cohort P.
Thanks, John. Now we've heard a little bit about Operation Spark, as well as everyone involved that is helped to make this reality, both in the past as well as for these current grads. Talk a little bit about the immersion program. I know everyone who has both been through the program, who knows, or family members of our grads tonight, friends, know that they probably have not had a lot of time over the last several months. And that's because the immersion program is very intense. It is a 3-month course. Students attend class 6 days a week in 2 6-week sessions, the junior phase and the senior phase. And the junior phase, instructed by Peter Barnum, who's on the call tonight. They work in 2-day sprints over the duration of the program, culminating in an MVP project and the junior assessment to get into the senior phase. And in the senior phase, they actually get to put all of their new skills to work. They build 3 applications: the Greenfield project, Legacy, and then the culmination of everything they've learned, which is the thesis project, which they are excited to show off here in a little bit. Additionally, immersion is not the entirety of the program. We also have the pre-qualifying, when everyone who attends the info session and then gets the 2-week prep intro to JavaScript to kind of start getting used to it, see if they like it. After that, a 5-week boot camp followed by pre-course, and then the immersion, all of which takes beginning to end roughly 5 to 6 months. So they have put in an awful lot of work, worked very hard to get to the point where they are, and I know they're very excited to show off their work. So let's get into it. Let's meet our graduates. Each one will introduce themselves in turn. We just proceed alphabetically by last name. They'll give a little bit, introduce themselves, say why they chose Operation Spark, as well as what they hope to do in the future. So with that, I will turn it over to our first graduate tonight, David Franks.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for attending. My name is David Franks. I'm a tech enthusiast, and an online privacy advocate. I chose Operation Spark because I felt it was a time for me to shift careers into the tech industry, which is a dream career I've had since I was very little, like as far as I can remember. I have a history in web development, and in fact, I worked on my very first website while I was in high school. I eventually want to get into cybersecurity to help make the web and connected devices more safe and secure.
Hello, I'm Bilal Hankins. I have a background in fashion design and production, and I chose to pivot into software engineering because it allows me to use my same design principles and utilize my creativity in a new light.
Hey everybody, I'm John. I chose Operation Spark because it's got a great reputation, and I know several graduates, all of whom got jobs, and they're very happy with the curriculum. And after graduation, I would like to get a job as a developer and start learning some new frameworks and languages, and eventually I would like to work in data science.
Hello, I'm David Palacios. I decided to join the program because I graduated marketing at University of New Orleans. The job market wasn't very good. And so a friend just told me about Operation Spark, and I finally decided to try it out, and I loved it at the end. And my goal is to get hired and one day learn to in and out of a business of tech company, and one day own my own tech company.
Hi, my name is Persis Randolph. I moved to New Orleans quite a while back to go to Loyola University for a classical oboe performance study. And I've been working in the service industry and working as a musician for quite a few years. I I actually did start working at a software company a couple years ago, and I really realized there that that was really where I fit. I've always been enthusiastic about technology, and I've dabbled in coding over the years. I also did meet a lot of OpSpark graduates at my job at that software company, and actually other musicians retasking as developers. And I really thought it would be a great fit for me. So I'm really excited to start as a developer and just to see what's going to happen.
Hi, I'm James. I also was previously working as a musician and in the service industry. I've dabbled in coding for quite a while, and just this last year decided to pursue it more full time and seek a career of it. I've had several friends who have been through the program and had nothing but good things to say about it and are gainfully employed as a result. And so I heard about Operation Spark through them, and I'm hoping to get into front-end development from here, and we'll see what happens after that.
All right. Thanks, everyone. I know we'd love to give them all a round of applause. If we could do that by running up a flood of emojis in the chat, I know that will probably get everyone going and be a lot of fun. In a regular setting, we would have loved to hear the applause. Unfortunately, we're not set up for that now. But having met our graduates, let's get into the main event of our proceedings tonight, the application presentations. We have two presentations tonight from each of the two groups. The first group is Rye Guy Coder Guys, consisting of John Auercade, David Palacios, and Persis Randolph. And they are here to show off their app, Little Victories. So I won't delay any further, and I will turn it over to them.
Thanks, Josh. So let me just share my screen real quick. All right, so as Josh said, we are Rye Guy Coder Guys, and our app is called Little Victories. So basically the goal of our app is, in today's chaotic world, sometimes even small tasks can seem overwhelming. We strive to celebrate the little things and help users realize that the seemingly small achievements do add up. So let me just share my phone screen real quickly. All right. So if you go here, this is the home page, the main screen. I have this little icon just so I can show you guys properly since you can't see my touches. So you can see we have two buttons, a login and register button. You can toggle between the two of them to either register a new user or log in. We do have some form validation here. If I tried to enter a user that was already signed up or matching passwords that don't match, you can see if I try to submit and register, you get a little form validation error. So I actually already have a user signed up. So let's go ahead and move over to that user. Cleverly named my account, obviously. And let's just log in here. All right, and you see we have some inspirational quotes during the loading screen. Just got a good variety of stuff in there that we thought was fitting for the app. Okay, so this is our home dashboard page. It is made up of a couple different components. You can see a progress bar at the top, which moves along as you get points from completing tasks or habits. We have this upcoming tasks component here. You can see I actually have a showcase upcoming task. So let's actually mark that off. So we go over here to the tasks tab, and I'm going to mark it complete. You can see that now in the upcoming tasks, you can see that that's dynamically reflected. We do have a daily reflection that you are asked to fill out every day. This is optional for our users, but if you do want to fill it out, you'll see that below here, your weekly stats fill out, and you can see kind of how your progress was for the week as far as how you're feeling in general, how you've been eating, and see how much you slept compared to other nights of the week. So let's go ahead and fill this out. I had a really good night's sleep. I slept for 8 hours. I ate really well. Sorry, typing on this small keyboard, not the best for me. I got a little bit of exercise. It was. Okay, so I had a good day, so let's go ahead and submit that. And you'll see that that gets added to our weekly stats down here. We do also have this achievements section. I have a couple of badges that I've earned so far on this app, just leveling up, completing some habits, and actually following some friends, which we'll talk more about later. I'm going to turn this over to David to share the journal feature.
Thank you, Persis. So this is our journal page. We had this intended for it to make this a very private feature. So where users can just type whatever they feel like, that's like how their day is going or whatever's in their mind, they can just type and save it. And so here's one way. Let's see, try it out. Today was a good day. And to save that, you click on save. And it says journal entries successfully saved. So that's saves back in the database. But if you think about it, I'm like, I don't want this no more. I want to clear this from the database, or just clear this out from the journal entry. Just click on clear entry. A message pops up. Are you sure? Once deleted, you cannot get this journal entry back. You could cancel if you think about it, don't want to do it again. Or you could click clear entry, and that clears it from the database. Now we have a previous tab where we have all our previous journals. And then if you look at them, you're like, I don't want to see these journals no more. I want them gone forever. You click on this button right here. Another pop-up pops up. Are you sure? Once deleted, you cannot get this journal entry back. You click on clear entry and just delete it forever. You'll never see that journal entry again. And let's do it on all of them. And they are gone. Now it just says no previous journal. Start documenting on the journals tab. And then another feature I want to show y'all is our friends feature. So these are all the users that are currently signed in into our app. And if you're looking for a specific name, maybe with a E, here are all the names that has an E on it. And if you want to follow, let's follow Daniel. Now you're following, and following. And this is the friends feature. Now I want to give it to John where he goes deep into the feed feature.
So the first thing I want to do is I want to show how you can get achievements. So if we go to the feed tab and then go to the friends tab, and then I add 3 users as friends, Persis, John, and David, you get this little alert appears on the screen that says congratulations, added 3 friends. Hit the X to close it, and then if you go over to the achievements page, that achievement is now in your achievement section. If you were to unfollow somebody, you would still have the badge. We're not trying to discourage people by removing badges. But then if you were to follow somebody again and bring the followers back to 3, you wouldn't see that badge again. The next thing I want to do is add a couple tasks. So I'm going to go to this task icon. I'm going to hit the plus, and then I'm going to add a couple tasks. So I need to, I'm moving this week, so I'm going to deep clean the bathroom. That's going to be due on Sunday, and you get this little calendar that pops up. It's going to take 60 minutes, and I'm going to hit this little toggle button to mark it as important, and then hit submit. I also need to pack up the kitchen. That will also be due Sunday. Should take about an hour as well. It's going to be important, and I hit submit. So if you look at this little progress bar on the top of the screen, you can see that we're currently at level 0, and we have 0 experience points. But as you hit these little check boxes, you get the number of experience points that the task was estimated to take. So this took 60 minutes. We got 60 points. If I hit this task, I reach level 1. I exceed 100 points, so I level up to level 1, and I get this level 1 badge. And then if I go back to the home section, you can see the level 1 badge in your achievements. Now that the tasks are complete, I can mark them as public by hitting this little toggle button. And then when I go over to my feed, I can see that these items are in my feed. If I was to mark them as private or incomplete, they would be removed from my feed. And then next I want to show off the real-time capabilities. So I have another simulator up right now, John. So if I go into John's simulator on the left, I don't see anything. I don't see any Bry Guys. I don't see any Bry Guys content. So what I do is I go to friends, I find him, I follow him, and then when I go back into my feed, I have all of his tasks and I have his achievement badges. So I can add a comment to them. Submit it, and then it appears on Ryguy's simulator. And if I can also like the comments by hitting that little heart, he gets those as well. And then I can unlike them, and I can remove comments, and everything is updated. And then everything is updated. And then the last thing I want to show is that if you were in the middle of making a comment, and Ryan was to, or Ryguy was to remove something, he was to take something off of his feed, that post would be removed from the feed, but the the comment wouldn't be disturbed, and the cursor wouldn't be disturbed as well. So then if I add it back, it pops right up, comment's still there, cursor is still there. So now Persis is going to talk about adding habits.
All right, I'm just gonna share on the simulator just for ease of you guys seeing the mouse and where it's moving. So let's go over here to the same tab, the tasks tab. We've got another toggle over here for habits. You can see I don't have anything right now. So we can add habits for a couple different frequencies. We can add daily, weekly, or monthly habits. Something I do every day is do the dishes. So let's go ahead and add that. We also want to add a weekly habit. I have 2 trash days. Let's add that for Wednesday and Sunday. That's when my trash comes. And monthly habit, something like paying the rent. I'm going to add that for the first of the month. All right, and you can see we're actually toggled on just the habits due today. So you see do the dishes since it's daily. If I mark it complete, it gives you a couple experience points, but you also, if you come back into the app tomorrow, it'll re-prompt you to do this task. And you can see also all of your habits at once, and you can see those by toggling to the all. We also do have one more tab that we haven't demonstrated yet, and that's the settings tab. We do have an accessibility feature here for a readable font. It's just makes the font size bigger across the app. We also have an option to delete your account in case you don't want to have your information stored with us anymore. You can choose to delete it completely from the database. I'm not going to delete my account now, so I'm just going to hit cancel. And then this is also where you'd log out of your account back to the login screen. That is about it. So David will share the tech stack now.
All right, thank you, Persis. And so we use Express.js, Babel, Redis to store temporary data. We use MySQL for our database, TypeScript. We use Amazon Web Services to deploy our backend, our server, and we use Socket.io, DateFNS, Axios, PM2, TypeScript Node, React Native, Sequelize, and Expo. That'll be it.
Sorry, I was muted. App looks great. Excellent job. Let's say that if I remember correctly, the app is not currently live on the iOS store. Is that, am I remembering that correctly?
Right. We're not quite deployed on the Apple Store yet. We're going to do that in the future, though. If you want any information about it, feel free to send me an email. I'm going to drop my email in the chat.
Excellent. So then we'll open it up to questions now. First of which I saw in here from Pam. Are there reminders for tasks and habits?
I can take that one. So right now we have upcoming tasks actually features the five tasks that we're closest to the due date on. So you can see reminders like that. We did hope to install push notifications at some point, but that's not yet implemented. It does, the habits do reset on their due dates. So if you wanted to schedule something monthly, it will tell you that it's due again in the new month.
Next question from Austin, who says, very dope. Would it be available on Android?
John, do you want to take that one?
Sure. So it's not currently available on Android, but Persis and I are currently learning how to use Ionic, which compiles down to Android very easily. So I think it's something that we could do in the future.
Ian asks, what was the hardest part?
I would say learning TypeScript while we're learning everything else at the same time.
Yeah, adding on to that, this was our first time working with both React Native and TypeScript, as well as our first iOS app for two of us anyways. So there was definitely a lot of, the first couple of days were definitely a hurdle trying to learn all of that at once.
I think adding some of the last features we added were pretty tough because they were less planned out than some of the original features. So they didn't play with the original components as well as the original components, and adding some of these last minute models to our schema was a little challenging at times too, because they were things that we hadn't taken into consideration when we started the project.
All right. From Nico, was there a task that you thought would be easy that ended up being difficult?
Yes, I could speak for my journal feature. We tried to do a previous journal with a left and right tab, and I thought it was gonna be pretty easy. And 2 days later, I got nowhere, and that's where I just created like a current and previous tab, which was way easier and saved more time than we thought it would. So yeah, just doing that was pretty rough and pretty hard.
I think for me, using Socket.io, I had a lot of fun using Socket.io, but I had some challenges because some of the listeners were, every time a component re-rendered, an additional listener was being put on a component. So it definitely took me a couple days to learn, really learn what was happening under the hood and troubleshoot some of those issues.
All right. Aaron asks, where did the inspiration come from for the app?
I actually originally I really like those like RPG, like gamified task manager apps. And we were kind of brainstorming ideas that were similar to that, but not quite that, because, obviously we don't want to really recreate something that's already there. But we kind of came down to thinking more about, mental health of everyone coming out of the pandemic and the stress people have to deal with. And we talked about how, some days it's just really, some days things like getting out of bed and getting dressed and taking a shower and paying the bills or reading the mail, like, just seem difficult, and we really wanted to encourage people. We wanted to use this platform to encourage people to realize that those small things do amount to something much larger, especially when you think of the big picture. And that's where like the gamifying aspect comes in. So we wanted the whole app to kind of be centered around that mentality.
Great. Austin asks, best advice for us new people looking to accomplish your same goals.
Austin, could you clarify that question a little bit?
Yeah, if we're talking just about like, using new technologies and going from, having really small amount of skills to going to, what we come out of this program with, it's the persistence, it's making sure you take the time to, right. So just making sure you take the time to develop the skills you need, learning how to really utilize resources and read documentation, super important.
Yeah, I think it's just about putting in extra hours whenever you can. Putting in extra hours, taking extra Udemy classes, finding YouTubers that that you respond well to, and just really committing, 7-month period of your life to learning code.
You have to be committed. If you're not committed, it's not going to work out at all. And if you know anybody that's a coder or a software engineer, I would say use that and ask questions. Because if you don't ask questions and you're stuck, you're going to get nowhere. Because sometimes you'll think you need to fix something with a lot of code, but really with just one line of code. But that's because I asked the question and I fixed it. If I would have never asked that question, I would have been stuck. And maybe I would have, gave out on doing coding again.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. One of the big things in this program, and from when I went through it to now, is learning the ability to know when to ask for help, which can be very difficult to do, to admit that you need help, but that's going to help you a lot in the long run. That's a great answer. Next question from Ryan McFarland, who I believe is the eponymous Rye guy, but behind Rye Guy Coder Guys. He asks, with more time, what is a feature that you would have liked to have added?
I would have liked to have had interacted more with like the camera and the photo reel and just some of the pieces of technology already on the phone.
I really wanted to I liked the general look and feel of the app when I first started, but I really wanted to inject some more color and some more interesting kind of user interface in there later on. But it honestly, we moved forward so quickly in the first couple of weeks that we didn't do a lot of global styling. Each component was styled separately. So when I went back in and made everything global styles, it was quite time consuming, and I didn't really expect it to take so much time. So once I got through with that, I just really ran out of time to actually improve on the design itself, which I wish I would have had time to do.
I would say not a feature, but something that, one of our classmates got in our head, Bilal, is I kind of wish I want to, let's go back and maybe fix the database, the backend, and use GraphQL and see maybe that could have made things a little bit easier. As we're told that using GraphQL is kind of cool and easier. So that's something I would have done.
All right. And looks like last question in the chat I see right now from Chris asks, after achieving monthly goals, is there a 30, 60, 90 goal award badge?
So right now we only have, sorry, I keep talking. It's always my problem. Right now we only have kind of a smaller variety of badges just out of time constraints, but we have some level up badges on certain meaningful landmark levels. We have habits completed, habits added, and then we have tasks completed levels of like 5, 10, 15, 20, things like that. And we also have friends, which are people you follow on your social feed. Right now, those are the only ones, but we could easily add more.
All right. Any other questions? All right. If there are no other questions, just want to say again, great job. App looks really good. Doing a lot of hard work. A lot of very kind words I see in the chat. Compliments to both the team and the application. If you would like to get more information about the app, as Persis said, you can reach out to her directly. She put her email in the chat. It will actually appear in a slide a little bit later as well. And if we will have an additional short meet with the teams following the showcase tonight as well. So, and again, that was Rye Guy Coder Guys with Little Victories. We're going to move on to our second and final presentation tonight from the team Wadix, consisting of David Franks, Bilal Hankins, and James Thomason. And they are going to show off their application, Plexus Create. So I won't delay any further, and I will turn it over to them.
Hello. All right. We are Wadix, consisting of myself, Bilal Hankins, David Franks, and James Thomason. And the app we're presenting to you today is called Plexus Create. Plexus Create is a community-oriented platform for content creators, developers, artists, and creatives of all likes to raise awareness on upcoming projects, recruit for full, part-time, or contract positions, and create crowdfunding campaigns to fund their creative endeavors. And so without further ado, I'll pass this off to my good friend, David Franks, to start us off.
Thank you, Bilal. You guys give me just 1 second. I'm going to try to present from my phone. I've been trying to play around with this today to get this working. All right, cool. So first, we're going to go to plexuscreate.com. See, it autofills for me there. You can see the homepage. Click up here, which will allow us to log in. So I'll sign in with my Google account, password this for security. And immediately, since this is my first login, it will ask me to create my account. I could skip it if I want to, but I'm just going to go forward with this process. So it fills in some information from my Gmail. So I can fill this in with my full name. Let's say I want to keep that username for now. I'll say I'm a web developer. My website, you could say, is plexuscreate.com. And I'll set my bio to, I will fix all of your bugs. Go to next. And now I can upload my own profile picture if I want to. This one's from my Google. So I'll just do that. Let's say I want to be Mr. Krabs today. So I'll do that. I'll click the check, it uploads. I'll submit that. And you can see up here, it's reflected immediately. So let's go check out what my profile looks like. So you can see here, you can visit the website. It would obviously take you back to here. It's got my icon, my name, my title, everything else. So I can come here to settings. And I can change my name if I want to. Say I just want to have it as David. Change that. I'll change my username. Let's say I want to take the 7 off and just keep it like that. That again is reflected immediately up here. I think everything else is fine. Let's say I want to add this little cute animation here as my icon. There we can see it updates instantly as soon as it's done. Let's say I want to change my bio to, I will fix all of your bugs and optimize your entire code base. And submit that and check my profile to see that it did in fact update right there. And now I will pass it off to Bilal. He will show you how to add your projects into our app.
So right now I'm on the projects page. If I navigate to the sidebar, then press create project, I'll be forwarded to the create project page. So we're presenting our app Plexus. So I'll create a project for app Plexus. So Plexus create. We intend to connect, create, and collaborate. And so we have a selection of tags. I'm going to select tech. And I can visit my project right here. And since I'm the owner of this project, I can create new posts to give updates for users following this project. I can also add new positions. So we're a small team of 3, so I'm going to add a new position for a full stack developer. Must be enthusiastic. That's all our requirements. So I can add this position. And then if I go to the projects, and if I'm another user looking at this, I can go to the open positions page and see I can now contact myself, and I can get more info about participating in Plexus Create. So as I said, I have a background in fashion, so I'm kind of interested in this project. I can read the 17-year-old designer from New Orleans. That's all I need to know. So I'm going to contribute to this project. And we're redirected to Stripe, where the owner of the project receives the monetary donations. And so, oh, I misspelled my name. So at gmail.com. So I'll just put a fake address. Oh, this is for my name. My apologies. I'll put a fake address. And we are in test mode for demonstration purposes. And this is a test card provided by Stripe. As long as it satisfies the credit card requirements, I'm going to be redirected back to our projects page, where I'm back on this project. And so I'm going to pass it off to my good friend, James Thompson, to show off our feed.
All right, give me just a second. All right, we good? Cool. All right, so we're back on the projects page. I'm currently signed in as 2 different users. Got Jamie Thomason over here and Horizontal James, my alter ego. Under Jamie, I am the owner of this project here, Dog Goggles. So I'm going to go here and add a post to it so I can update any followers and let them know what's going on with my project. Let's see. All right, so I need help making my dog goggles. I'm going to post that. And so over here, this is my feed. This is updates from projects I'm currently following. And if I go to projects from here, oh, this looks cool. Dog goggles. Let me follow that. And if I go back to my feed, it shows most current posts from that project. And now I'm gonna give it back to David to show the search feature.
James, let me just pull this back up on my phone real fast. One sec. Go back to Chrome. So let's say I want to go search for something. Let's say, I already know of Mr. Sloth. So I'll come over here. You can see this project here. His pajamas for Sloth. You can see information about it, the tags. He tagged it as fashion. You can follow it. You can view their profile, their project. Which I can then again donate all that. And come back. And look at his profile. And contact him if I want to. I'm not going to do that. It's going to open my Gmail account. So I'm just going to go into his account. You can see here. I can again contact, or I can follow. Or I can just look up James. You can see we got horizontal James here. He prefers to be horizontal as opposed to being vertical. And I can again follow him, contact him, or view his profile. And I'm going to pass it off to Bilal now. He's going to go over our tech stack.
All right, so as David Palacios mentioned earlier, we use GraphQL in the majority of our app and we also use TypeScript and React on the front end, Apollo server to connect and create our endpoint on the back end. We connected to our GraphQL endpoint using Urkel client on the front end. All of our images are posted using Cloudinary. We utilize PostgreSQL for our database, and our front end is built on Next. We use TypeORM as a relational manager for our database, TypeGraphQL for extra help with TypeScript bindings in TypeGraphQL, and we use Stripe to facilitate our purchases and transactions. Nextdoor for authentication, and Chopper and SAS for our front-end components. And that is our application. That is great. Thank you.
All right, guys, looks great. Is this app live right now?
Yes, I will paste the link in the chat.
Cool. Then we'll open it up to questions.
So we use GraphQL mainly because we wanted to, the week before our thesis project, we were researching new technologies that we were most passionate about and just, seemed interesting to us. And stumbled upon GraphQL, and it seemed on first glance like there was many benefits using GraphQL over a REST API. And to be quite honest, I really just wanted the challenge of learning a new query language, really. And GraphQL, like through the ups and downs of learning that process, I've fallen in love with it. It's pretty cool and efficient.
Cool. And that question, for anyone who didn't hear, was from David, who asked, why did you use GraphQL? Correct. Patrice asks, what was the most difficult feature to implement?
I would say the most difficult for me personally was deployment, and I suppose the Stripe integration at first. For Stripe, it was kind of sort of a challenge at first, uh, based off of how I wanted to go about it. But after reading the docs and trying for several hours, multiple different ways, like it was so much easier and simpler after I like got a full understanding of the whole Stripe API.
For me, not necessarily a feature per se, but just the um, join tables, creating tables and relational data with GraphQL was really weird for a while, and that was hard to figure out. Creating those relationships and retrieving data based off those relationships. So yeah, I guess implementing the follow feature and figuring out how to use GraphQL and type ORM to achieve that was difficult for a while.
I would say for me, I don't think there was any particular feature that was too terribly hard for me to implement. Most of the challenge came from taking on so much new technology all at one time, while also, I wouldn't say like learning a whole new language, even though TypeScript kind of feels like you're learning a whole new language. It's more just trying to stay in line of what TypeScript is trying to teach you and trying to help you build upon from base JavaScript. All that combined is just, it made the whole endeavor much more stressful and time consuming than it could have been had we just used what we've been using and sticking straight to just base JavaScript.
To add on to that, like it was very extremely stressful for a certain point, but as we pulled through, it was definitely extremely rewarding to have learned all of these new frameworks and technologies and implement them and deliver a cohesive product that you guys saw today. I think that was the most rewarding part.
Cool. Next question from Austin. What was one of the biggest lessons you learned while working through this project?
I would say the biggest lessons I learned was just to keep pushing, and like no matter what, like you're gonna break through that wall, because it gotta be, you gotta go through that wall. Kind of like what David was saying earlier, like if you don't ask the question, you'll never like know what you did wrong, or even you may just give up.
I would say managing time and expectations given a time frame. That was probably the biggest lesson I grappled with over the course of this project.
And I would say similarly, more just a personal lesson for me is just like, I just feel like, I can do this. After, even though it felt really hard at the beginning and even in the middle of it, like I just wanted to give up and stop, but I'm like, no, that finish line is almost there. You just got to keep going. Just learning how to endure all of it. Got a little bit of time management here and there, but mostly just sticking to it, pushing forward, no matter how impossible it may have seemed at any given time.
Next question is from Taylor, and she asks, "Does the app keep track of how much contributions a project gets?"
Right now it does not, but that was the one feature that I really wanted to add in if we had more time. And yeah, but I will say, like, we did set up the functionality on the back end to handle that. It's just a matter of time.
We did have to kind of readjust the scope of the project as we went. That was definitely a part of the original idea, was to have like, sort of a progress bar for how much contributions a project has received. And that would probably be the next thing we implement if we continue to work on this.
All right. And Caleb asks, how much of a challenge was it to get fully integrated with Stripe?
I would say, once again, like, I feel like after going through it, the Stripe integration, like, as itself wasn't that hard, at least like for me, but just handling everything else at the same time, that was the biggest difficulty I had, because I was stressing a lot over the time deadlines and just other personal stuff. And then I took a break for a day, or really like a half a day, and came back and got the Stripe integrated in less than half a day. But yeah, it was more of a personal, like, willpower thing. Like I said, you just gotta push that wall.
All right. Susan asks, how would you see the tags / labels evolving over time?
Due to some time constraints, we had to scrap that feature. We were gonna integrate an Explore tab that would allow you to view popular tags, trending tags, and stuff like that. But we couldn't get around to doing it. It was also going to be part of the search feature. You were going to be able to filter out for specific tags. But we ran out of time.
Yeah,
That is another thing that we would love to get back. If we were to continue working, we would be one of the next couple things to add to the app would be the tags tracker and stuff like that.
we saw tags as a way to categorize our projects and profiles and positions, to where if you wanted to look for all the open positions for projects that are fashion related, you could see that. And if you wanted to search for all the graphic artists or people who have chosen graphic design as their favorite tag, those profiles will pop up and you could contact them to join your organization or your project. So it is just a matter of the scope.
Chris asks, moving forward, what's something that you would want to add to this application and why?
One thing I really was excited to add, after we had gotten the Stripe integration completed, I wanted to add a cryptocurrency feature too, because that's something that I'm very passionate about. And I feel like if we allow project owners to accept donations in multiple ways, that's even better. And just about the blockchain revolution that's going on right now. That's one thing I wanted to add.
I think we kind of covered the other features that we planned on adding in the near future. That was, keeping a visible track of donations and expanding on the tags idea.
Yeah, there was a few things in the original scope of our project that we also didn't get around to implementing. We kind of wanted your profile to be sort of like a LinkedIn page where you could post your accomplished achievements, stuff like that, because you already have your projects there. So you could list your skills, if you graduated from OpSpark this past month, you could put that on there, or whatever it may be, to try so that way when someone's looking through candidates, whenever you go to try to apply for them, they can just quickly look at your profile and see if you're the right fit. That was part of the original scope, but we just couldn't get around to it.
Gotcha. Ruel asks, what was the most interesting thing you learned on this project?
I would say serverless functions. Just like in how we used GraphQL and Next, like I feel like they just work so well together to where I just ended up learning so much more about like serverless functions and GraphQL as a whole. I feel like I've gained a lot of knowledge in that.
I feel like we kind of learned this and implemented it early on in the process of this project, and then it kind of we're able to leave it alone and really didn't give it a whole lot more thought. But Next.js is pretty cool. Working in React, but doing server-side rendering with React was a cool idea, and Next.js allowed us to do that, and the way they handle routes was really cool. So I thought that was interesting.
I mean, yeah, echoing what James said, I mean, Next.js it's awesome. I mean, it's a very flexible framework. It's built off of React, and it takes all the best parts of React and meshes it together. Normally in a normal React app, you'd have to choose between server-side or client-side rendering. Next decides that for you. You just build your pages, your APIs, and it will render it however it sees fit. And I think that's pretty cool. Because I mean, there's pros and cons to each one, but you know, you don't have to choose. Next will do that for you to make it more optimal for the user experience.
All right. Are there any other questions? I think I got through all of them that were in the chat. All right. If nothing else, then great job. Thanks everyone for the questions. The app looks great. It is live. I believe Bilal put the link into the chat. Yes, plexuscreate.com. Let's put it up again. Cool. So again, that was Waddix, David Franks, Bilal Hankins, and James Thomason with Plexus Create. And recap our other team, Ragai Coder guys in their app Little Victories, Jonathan Hourcade, David Palacios, and Persis Randolph. If you would like to speak to any of them further, we will be having some breakout rooms. I will throw those into the chat here shortly, and you can join them. Other than that, one last round of emoji applause for both of our groups. Put in a lot of hard work. The apps look great. Thank you to everyone who attended today. Great questions, great participation. To our Operation Spark staff who do a great job with both of this program as well as assisting to put these events together. And friends and family of our graduates, thank you for your support. I know that it meant a lot to them when they were going through this stressful time. And also a shout out to the current seniors who are attending now, who will be attending their own showcase in a few short months. So thanks everyone. Hope everyone has a great night. Stay safe. I will put those links to the breakout rooms here into the chat. And go ahead and join them. Everyone else, have a great night.